assuming that all Protestants are basically Baptists or low church or Zwinglian or whatever you want to describe it. There was a great Catholic Answers article from like 24 years ago, I think, where this was addressed head on. Greg Kriebel warns that we criticize Protestantism because there are, so the story goes, 23,000 different Protestant denominations, all teaching different things. And then a minute later, the Catholic apologist will speak to a Methodist as if he's a Baptist or a Lutheran as if he's a Pentecostal. If they all teach different things, and for heaven's sake, don't treat all Protestants the same. And I think that's exactly right. And I think specifically, we often treat Protestants as if they're all Baptists. Now, I will say, historically, this was a tricky thing for me to learn because a lot of the people I grew up with were Baptist or evangelicals or non-denominational who believed pretty well the same things and liturgically were pretty close to one another. But the reality is, on theology and on doctrine, there are massive differences. One of the worst things you can do is overlook that fact and try to push the person you're trying to reach into more of your stereotypical Protestant view. Here's what I mean by that. You will find, for instance, Baptists who believe in the real presence, or charismatics who think, oh yeah, prayer to the saints is fine, or whatever. Things that by our lights don't really make any sense. But if you ask the questions, you might find common ground in places you don't expect it at all. And that can be very helpful if you don't come in with a bunch of assumptions about what they must believe because they're Protestant, or even what they must believe because they're Baptist or Lutheran or Anglican or whatever. Because the reality is, Protestants can believe whatever they want to believe. I mean, that might be too strong of a statement, but on almost any doctrine you can imagine that divides Catholics and Protestants, you'll find a wide variety of Protestant views on the subject, including things like justification by faith alone. You'll find plenty of Protestants who will say, justification is by faith and works. We're fine with that. And that may not match your stereotype. So don't force someone into the box furthest from you. That's a terrible move in any kind of act of persuasion, to just be like, oh, no, you're a Protestant. You're supposed to totally disagree on this. Well, they don't. So don't try to force disagreement where there is agreement.